In this exercise tutorial, I'm going to be taking you just through the first quarter of the Turkish get-up movement. So if you're looking for the entirety of the Turkish get-up, I've got a video on that separate, but this is just the first quarter of how to do so for beginners and also for intermediate and advanced lifters. So I've got a kettlebell to the side of me here, and I'm going to show you the first part of the movement, which is the most important part. This is where people get injured when they do a lot of heavy weight and they don't quite get themselves into the position safely that they need to be. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, people come onto their back, they externally rotate the shoulder, which is a weak position for the shoulder to be in with lots of substantial weight. They then bring themselves into this position really quickly, and that causes an injury. So it's this quick part that causes the injury, which is why you're going to lay on your side, have your hand underneath, wrap it around the other side, so both hands now interlinked. You're going to roll onto your back, and then you can bring the weight up from there. Once I then bring it down, it's the exact opposite, where I'd bring myself into that position, fingers interlinked, and roll to bring the weight down. You will get away with a poor technique with smaller weights, you won't with the heavier weights. So make sure you're doing it nice and safely. Copy that way to actually set up the exercise. Now, let's show you the first part. Now, we're just doing the first quarter here. Now, I'm going to start off with the beginner version of this and then go to the intermediate/advanced one. So, fingers interlinked, roll onto my back. I'm going to punch the weight up. From here, the weight is above my shoulder. Whatever side I've got my hand around the kettlebell is the same side that is going to come up into a bent knee position. From here, the arm extends in the non-kettlebell side, and then I'm going to come up as quickly as possible onto my elbow, but also I'm not going to stop looking at the kettlebell in terms of my eye line. So as I come up onto my elbow on my left-hand side, notice how I'm always looking at that kettlebell. From here, come up to a straight arm. And now for the beginner version, what I'd want you to do is straighten your leg in this position, and that would be the end of your exercise. Again, always looking at the kettlebell, arm comes back, knee comes to bend. You then bend onto the elbow and come back down to your start position. Straighten the leg. Now for the advanced version, kettlebell comes up nice and quick, knee comes to bend. From here, the arm that's not in contact with the kettlebell extends. You then come onto your elbow, always looking at the kettlebell, then onto your hand and then raise up the hip. From this position, come back down with the hip, onto your elbow, return back to your start position, and then bring your knee straight. Once you've done that, you then roll with both hands clasped over the kettlebell. That's how to do the first quarter of a kettlebell Turkish get-up. And when you're doing that, you can do that as part of a strength plan. You can also do it as part of a HIIT or circuit or conditioning plan. This would be a fantastic way for beginners to start to get used to the movement without doing all the 4 sequence steps that you have to do the entirety of the Turkish get-up.